Ocean Frontiers is the best dive operator in the Cayman Islands. We're out here on East End. We go out here, we dive the East End of Grand Cayman, all the walls, all the reefs, try and provide the best service we possibly can. I think our reputation speaks for itself, and we're trying to maintain that.
Diving in Grand Cayman, absolutely fantastic, especially on the East End. It's easy for everybody.
We offer diving every day, 365 days a year. And so, depending what it is that you're looking for, you can find it here.
Grand Cayman particularly has such a nice balance of having everything that you could want as far as the city life. You know, we have a good sized city. We've got restaurants of all sorts of different types. We've got lovely classic beaches. And then also out here on the East End, we've got super quiet, more mellow, authentic island vibes. But we have really, really awesome diving here on this very same island out here in the East End.
The East End is all about, two things for me. First, the diving, the quality of the diving, and the variety of the diving. And then second is the kind of Caribbean way of life. We still have that kind of feel of yesterday, traveling back in time. So we get the best of both worlds, and then the cream on the top is just the spectacular dive sites that we have.
East End's a desirable place to come diving because it gets you away from all the crowds on 7 Mile Beach, which is a good thing, but that by itself wouldn't be enough. The real kind of draw here is the deep walls, the amazing swim-throughs, the marine life, the quality of the reefs. It's just the best place.
This is an area of the island where at any one time there's only a couple of dive shops operating. We only have one other dive shop right now, so if you imagine we have 55 main dive sites, not to mention the vast, endless miles of unexplored reef or reef that hasn't got dive sites on it. So you can always find something new, because the area just simply isn't dived to the same level as other parts of the island. And so it's very easy to get to those little in-between spots that people just don't think about. And that's what I really enjoy.
The East End is what you picture when you picture the Caribbean. But what we ultimately get diving here in the East End is better topography, more rugged, more sheer, swim-throughs, canyonways, arches. We have less diver traffic here in the East End, just by nature of where we are and how many people visit this particular area.
So Ocean Frontiers is the dive shop itself. The Compass Point is the dive resort where Ocean Frontiers is located. And the two go hand in hand. The emphasis is on the quality of the experience rather than seeing how many people we can get into a certain amount of square footage. So the units that we have, they're condos basically, rather than a hotel. So there's a full service kitchenette. There's a full-size fridge, freezer, all the utensils you want, living area, balcony. You're either poolside or oceanside. You're not going to be looking at a parking lot. You're not going to be looking at air conditioning units. So they've been designed in such a way to basically give the guest the best experience.
We've got a couple of swimming pools, we've got barbecues, hot tubs, nice beach area for you to chill out on, and it's right there ready for you to go diving as well. You don't need to travel anywhere.
Roll out of bed and onto the dive boat. Basically is like it sounds. It couldn't get any closer unless we had slides from the balconies. The beauty of staying on site is that you're right here, you wake up, you go to breakfast at Eagle Rays, your gear's already prepared for you, so you just walk down the boat and get on and go diving. Doesn't get any easier than that.
The guests can really just come in here. They dump their gear outside the door. The dive staff will come pick it up, look after it in the gear shed, and literally all the guests need to do is wake up in the morning and down to the boat, and their gear's there waiting for them. Everything they need is on site, and I think that's really important. You don't get picked up in a minivan. You don't have to, worry about lugging gear, wet gear in the back of a rental car. It's just so nice to have everything here. Eagle Rays actually opened the year I arrived in 2013. The company really wanted to have an on-site bar and restaurant, and that's how Eagle Rays came into being. It's a really nice spot. It's above sea level in the fact that it's built on the second story. It's completely open air, although it does have shelter for when those rainstorms do come in. and it always seems to have a nice breeze. So regardless of how hot and sweaty we get during the daytime, after work when we go up there for a cheeky beer, it's always nice to have a nice breeze, and it's really nice for that reason.
Even when we go out and do our shallow dives inside the reef at Sunset Reef, we're only down 20 feet, but we've had turtles, rays. There's so much of them in repetition that it's lovely. You can go down any day and dive, and you don't know what you can see. It could be, like I say, a ray tail or a shark all on the same dive. It's awesome.
Southeast, the topography of the shallow sites is so cool. There are lots of little caverns and swim-throughs, and you could spend an hour and a half easily just going through swim-throughs and connecting through the caverns and looking for small things like in the rubble in between the swim-through and in the swim-throughs, or lots of drumfish like to hide inside of holes where it's a little darker, and it's really fun to look for juveniles. They're really pretty.
Iron Shore seasonally has silver sides, they'll fill up millions of silver sides. We'll fill this whole cavern, and then tarpon will just swim through, and they'll part ways. You can get some really cool shots.
Yeah.
You swimming through them, they'll part ways for you.
But on the north side, the wall is so sheer, so steep. So when you're going around from the east end to the northeast wall, when you drop off and you start descending down the wall, it feels very humbling. You feel like a very small piece of this ocean because you're just off the edge of this wall, looking out into the deep blue and looking up and seeing the sun rays coming down behind the boat and over the reef, and you're just sitting off the side of it in the middle of the blue and the reef, and it's really peaceful. I mean, plus you can't beat the visibility. Most of the time, the visibility is really nice, and every now and again you get those pockets of thermoclines where the water temperature is changing a bit. It makes it a little hazy, but even on a bad visibility day, it's good visibility.
Yeah.
So you can just see for ages.
There are lots of different dive sites, and they offer different things that you like. Do you like swim-throughs? Go to Snap the Boat. Are you hyped? Drop-off? Go to River of Sands. Oh, you like pinnacles? Go to Babylon. Oh, you like wrecks? Oh, guess what? We have Kittiwake. That's one of the best. So yes, Cayman. Oh, of course, East End and Cayman is. They build up a culture of diving on this island. That's very rare to see. It's rare to see this.
Having Babylon, having the Curlews on the north side, having Jacks in the maze, those walls are really spectacular, amazing walls that you can be down at 80 feet and start looking up, and in one, sight, you can see both the boat, some divers, a shark, and the boat behind you. It's breathtaking. But there's a lot of reasons why I like the East End, and that I think guests will really like the East End and should come and try it out sometime.
Our custom designed dive boats are awesome. From my perspective, working on them, they're a dream. Everything has been thought of, and I thought about that the very first time I was ever on the boat as a customer at the time, that you need something, it's there. Everything was in its place. There's lots of little details that a lot of dive centers don't think about.
The boss Steve likes to refer to them as the limousines of diving. They're custom built up in Louisiana by Newton Boats. When we bought them, they were bare boats. So they had obviously like your engines and your navigation systems and whatnot in them, but there was nothing on the decks.
The actual racking and seating is custom made by Ocean Frontiers, by one of the owners, Mo. He measured it all, made it all, and it was all customer orientated. So it was like, if you could have anything you wanted on the boat, what would it be?
So boats have been the kind of the foundation of our business, from day one, from Valentine's Day 1996, when we were building Nauticat, the flagship, kind of the Mayflower of Ocean Frontiers is Nauticat. That every piece of that was designed by me and Mo, and it was the dream dive boat, and that kind of philosophy and the detail of what is it like to navigate around this boat with your fins on and getting in and out of the water, the ladders, where you grab onto, it was never a converted boat. It was a built from scratch custom boat. So when it came time to replace that, we took it as an opportunity to kind of go to the next level. We had some more ideas building on a couple of decades of experience of what would be the ultimate dive boat. We took what is essentially the shell or the core and a base model of the Newton 46 Dive Special, but they didn't fit it out for us. We had it custom fit out ourselves. So it's like our boats are like no other Newtons other than the kind of the base model. They're totally custom after that. And that's been, again, designed with the diver experience in mind, and not saying we need to fill this boat and put 18 or 20 divers on it. Straight away it's like, no, let's bring it down to around 14 divers, and then everyone can have their own business class tank station.
Just in terms of, the space and handrails that you have at your own station and your own little mask bucket, where everything is accessible to everybody on the boat.
We're able to bring diver comfort to a whole new level. Every diver has their own spot, mask buckets. The gear goes straight underneath their feet. No one's bumping shoulders. It works great.
You've always got room. I mean, these boats, I believe up in the States, they'll be licensed for like 35 divers. We'll take 14. And you've always got this much, like 1.5 feet of space each. Even when the boat's full, they're not particularly crowded. There's plenty of space upstairs, up on the bow as well. They're nice, just really nice diving platforms. They're stable, they're fast, they're efficient. They're not too noisy. They don't chuck out tons of black smoke everywhere. They're everything you could ask for a dive boat, really.
Everything is maintained by us, so all the captains are trained in the maintenance work. All the engines, engine bays, everything's kept like super clean.
Those new boats have revolutionized everything we do. We are able to run these little Cayman trips. It's really nice to have the power of the boats. We have full complement of all the emergency equipment. Yeah, it is really real pleasure to work on these boats and to run trips on them. I think the principle behind valet diving is you can basically do as little or as much as you like for yourself. Generally speaking, we will bring all the gear down to the boat and get it all set up. You're more than welcome to set your own up if you prefer that, but generally we set it all up for you. We check everything, make sure it's all good. We help you into your gear and help you to the back of the boat. We strongly encourage you to check your own gear, make sure that it's all working properly, just in case. But once we've got you in the water, if you want to go guided, one of our instructors or dive masters will guide you around the reef and show you some interesting creatures. Again, if you want to go off and do your own thing, you can with a buddy. When you come back from your dives, you don't need to worry about swapping your gear, you don't need to worry about washing the gear. All that kind of stuff goes on behind the scenes.
We try to remove most of the hard work from our guests and our divers. We take that on ourselves so that they can come and just enjoy the diving.
The green short service is like nothing else I've ever seen anywhere else. It's pretty incredible, and was, as a customer, was my favorite dive shop almost right away, which is cool because it gives me a lot of pride working here, being able to give the same experience to someone else, bringing their kit on the boat, setting it up for them, switching it over, breaking it down. The customer does nothing, and it's just such an easy, fun day, especially when you're on vacation. But people will they'll get a little too used to it. They'll be like, oh man, now I have to go back diving somewhere else and set up my own kit. But we try and make it super easy for them.
It's pretty full service. We set up all the gear for you, have everything ready, rinse all your gear, have it back on the boat, which a lot of people appreciate. It's your holiday, so kick back and relax, right?
What we can bring that Ocean Frontiers is different, or strives to be number one, is the social aspect. We're all divers. I think trying to bridge the gap between guests and crew and try and make it, we're all diving together. We're not just leading you on a dive, but we're experiencing the ocean together.
What I suggest you guys, when you come to the East End, come to Ocean Frontiers and ask about all the trips that we have, because we offer 3-stop snorkel, then we offer the drift snorkel, then we have a Stingray Sea trip. So there's a lot of options. We're not only about scuba diving.
During our normal Stingray City days, we do Dawn Stingray, which is awesome. You get out there a little early, but you beat all the other boats out there. So we generally have about an hour or so as one boat on the whole sandbar, whereas sometimes there can be, say, 10 to 15 boats throughout the rest of the day. So you've got 50 or so rays, all just to our group of say 8 to 10 people. So Dawn Stingrays is definitely the primo one. And then all of them are good, but the next one is also really cool because we have a reef and race. It's a little easier on the schedule, 9:30 usually until about noon, but it's a trip to the sandbar and a trip to an excellent snorkel spot, a Rum Point Reef. We make a little extra effort to go over to that reef instead of some of the closer nearby ones because it's the reef that you'll see in pictures as you're driving here at all the advertisements, this, that, and the other. It's actually at Rum Point Reef, which is really nice. And then our last one at 1:30 is standard outing to the sandbar and back, and it's just a good old time playing with stingrays. And then my personal favorite, we do usually a different day of the week, it is champagne and rays. So what we do is we actually leave later in the evening. I say later, a couple hours before dusk, basically. And we're getting out there after all the other boats, basically. And we're usually one of, say, 1, 2, 3 boats out there. But you don't have to wake up at dawn. And then we serve you champagne on the way back, which is nice.
You know, if you go home and you said, yeah, well, I went to the Cayman Islands and then we were exploring the shipwreck and then we were wrangling stingrays and then we were diving with sharks and then the next day then we were swimming with turtles and then we were going through these underwater caverns with silver sides and then we're on this vertical drop off that was so steep I felt like I was flying off a mountain, and you know, that's an adventure. That's what excites me about diving the East End. I've done thousands of dives out here, but it doesn't lose its magic.